To mind back 6 years, it's been exactly that time since Nelson Mandela died. So we thought it would be important on this landmark day to discuss the life and times of Madiba, and particularly whether the legacy is lasting. Razia Saleh from the Nelson Mandela Foundation joins us. As you were taking your seat, and good evening, and thanks very much for joining us tonight. I'm casting my mind back. I had just finished doing this program. I got home and I got a call from the office around about 11:30, I think, to say that we need to be on standby. 6 years on, it doesn't seem such a long time ago, does it?
I think it's both. It seems like it's been a long time, but at the same time, you know, it seems like it only happened yesterday. The memories are still very vivid with us at the foundation of Madiba's passing.
I'm sure they are. Do you think the country 6 years on has an increasing understanding of this massive contribution that he made to all of us individually, but also to the democratic project?
I think 6 years on, the democratic project is troubled. We have not achieved the country of Madiba's dreams, and especially with young people, Madiba's legacy doesn't have any resonance. They are questioning it. It's got to do with the high unemployment rate. The meta-narrative of Madiba's life is unraveling, and we think that it's time to interrogate his legacy, especially with young people.
Before you can interrogate the legacy, maybe you need to relook at it, redefine it, maybe remind us what it was.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. So today we have a dialogue at the foundation looking at Madiba's legacy. So it's called Remembering Madiba, Meta-Narratives, Myths and Memory. And it has young people and someone from Madiba's generation as part of the panelists. So it's an intergenerational, intersectional conversation looking at what Madiba's legacy means to young people and to
what's the
reimagine
narrative?
it.
What's the dialogue that is coming out of that process?
It's to reimagine what South Africa will look like in the future. It's to re-establish the dream of one united and prosperous South Africa. So the legacy, Madiba is known as a reconciler, a person who had vision, and that's what we want to bring to people, hope and a vision of a better South Africa.
And I don't think there's a single South African that would disagree with you, but others might say that the divisions now have become so deep, so entrenched, that there is so much division that it's going to be almost impossible to recapture that dream. And maybe that dream was just a chimera. Maybe it was something that was a fleeting moment of time, and we're back to the reality of an ordinary developing country.
I think we can say that, but also I think the South Africa winning the Rugby World Cup again showed us that it is possible to rally around a cause, a thing, and have hope. I think the last 2 years have also inspired people for more hope, and we can all that we can do is to work towards that future. It's no sense, you know, being negative about what happened.
Accept that, but it's also quite tragic, isn't it, that we have to pin our hopes on unification every couple of years, winning a big sports tournament. I'm being a little bit facetious, but you know, there's an element of truth there.
Yes, there's definitely an element of truth. That's why it's so important to have these intergenerational cutting dialogues and to not forget the bigger dream and to keep on working towards it. So Madiba was always hopeful. All the many years that he spent in prison, he was always hopeful. He always was positive about, you know, one day being released, coming into South Africa.
And perhaps it's within all of our hearts to try and find that optimism again. More difficult for some than others.
Yes, it's definitely more difficult for young, unemployed people. Our statistics shows that the inequality, the poverty gap. So it is hard and difficult, but it's a journey that we have to take. Madiba said the long walk is not over, and we believe it's not over. We haven't reached the South Africa of his dreams.
And that's a good place to end the conversation. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
joining.